let's just go ahead and react to this trailer for Dragon Age The Veilguard. Now, again, I don't know why they renamed it. I think Dragon Age Dreadwolf, that rolls off the tongue a lot easier. It sounds cooler, sounds more badass, but I guess you're guarding the veil in this one? I don't know. I was a huge fan of, I guess, the Dragon Age franchise. I really enjoyed the original game way back when it came out in 2009, I want to say. Thought it was great. Loved the world that, you know, BioWare had created. Obviously influenced by a lot of different fantasy properties, you know, Dungeons & Dragons most certainly. Dragon Age 2 was a huge step down. That's when they had been like truly acquired by EA. They want to make it more like an action game. You know, there was not a lot to explore. Some good characters. I did enjoy those characters quite a bit, but I was not a big fan of the gameplay or just how limited and claustrophobic the world felt. And Inquisition, while maybe not as good as Origins, I did like quite a bit. You know, it was a bit of a return to form for BioWare. But the company's been in a really weird place. So many of the original people that made so many of those games great, whether it was things like KOTOR or Jade Empire or, you know, the Mass Effect series, you know, and early Dragon Age games, those people are just gone. They just left. And we're left with whatever's, you know, still there. And the company's been, honestly, I'm kind of shocked they're still around, you know, because they had two catastrophic commercial and critical flops. Of course, you know, Mass Effect Andromeda, which I was initially very excited for, but I couldn't even, as you guys know, I'm a huge Mass Effect fan. I love that series. I love that trilogy. And that game was just terrible. You know, from the moment-to-moment gameplay, the world, just the planets just felt so empty. I didn't care for a lot of the characters aside from a couple, you know. And then, you know, like so many other developers, they were forced to make a live service game with Anthem, and that was a huge flop. And I remember playing like the 3-hour free demo and being like, I do not like this. And no one else did because that game just died. And so, yeah, and then this particular title, I think they restarted development several times on it. Originally, it was going to be another live service game. But thanks to the success of Respawn's new Jedi series with Jedi Fallen Order at first, and that selling so well, EA was like, oh, I think people want single-player games. Yeah, no shit, we want single-player games. And BioWare is a single-player RPG studio, so just have them make single-player, you know, RPGs, obviously. I mean... So, you know, they restarted development, and now we're getting it. Now we're getting it, and then we have another Mass Effect game on the way, maybe. I'll tell you right now, if this does not do well, if this reviews poorly and it sells poorly, then I think BioWare is done. I really do think it's done, and whatever happens to that Mass Effect game, it'll either move to another studio or the licenses will be sold off, but I really do think this is BioWare's last chance. And it's sad because years ago, you know, I love the company and what they made, whether it be like those original Baldur's Gate game, you know, KOTOR, Star Wars Knights of the Republic, which still to me is, I think, the best and my favorite Star Wars game of all time. You know, it's a wonderful RPG. And then, of course, you know, Mass Effect and the original Dragon Age. And it's sad to see what they became. And I'm hoping that maybe this will be a fresh start. But I don't know. That original trailer, I wasn't liking it. I wasn't vibing with it. I didn't like the tone. You know, or the goofy characters. It's just like, that's not what Dragon Age is. It just felt like they were turning into Overwatch, you know, which already makes it feel just so dated. So, in any case, let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer. I'll come back with my thoughts. Go get your thoughts, chat. By the way, it's got blood, nudity, sexual themes, strong language, and violence. I like all those things, chat. Those 5 things, pretty good. Let's go and take a look. It's nearly 3 minutes long. Wow. All right. Hopefully they got something to prove this one. Impress me!
You have no idea what you have done. The blighted elven gods walk free, all because you disrupted my ritual.
You battle against gods. They will not rest until you are on your knees.
Ooh, hentai. Tentacles, hell yeah.
Fearful.
Alright, this is a lot darker. Alright. They heard the criticism.
In the face of such power.
Rook, you've got this. I've seen your work.
I love Varric. Great character.
Adaptable. And you don't know when to quit.
You want allies to go after the gods? I've got places to look.
Where do we start?
I'll be damned. A griffin.
Oh, a little griffin. A little baby griffin.
Or victory.
Oh, it's gonna eat you.
I'm ready.
Alright, okay.
I've never seen this before. There's something kind of exciting about it.
Darkspawn.
What is happening to me?
Let the fade draw close.
Draw the dragon out into the open.
This is looking a lot better.
You and me.
I don't know why they didn't lead with this. Yeah, smooching. Let's do it. Those BioWare romances. I love them. That was cool.
These are the times in which
Oh,
legends are
there
born
she is, Morgan. There's
or
our girl.
slain.
Yeah, I love her. Claudia Black, voicing her again.
Our gods are back.
Look at that little Skelly.
Our gods. How do we stand against that?
I believe in all of us. So let's get it done.
Dragons, as there should be in Dragon Age. There you go. Halloween. Okay, all right. Well, there you go. Perfect. I'll probably play that then after my month of spoops. I don't know why they didn't, oh, let me play that right there. There we go. I can't for the life of me understand why they didn't introduce the game this way. This looks a lot better than what they showed with that, like, and I'm just comparing it to Overwatch in a negative way. Kind of using Overwatch as a pejorative, but it's like that's just not what Dragon Age is. You know, at least what I have played back in the day. And so this is more like the series that I remember and know. You know, delving into, it's like, yeah, Dragon Age has always had a sense of humor, but it also delves a lot into dark fantasy, you know, and different realms and dimensions and, you know, subterranean layers, you know, like things like the darkspawn, which is their version of like orcs and goblins and stuff. And, you know, and then the Fade, all these magical realms and all these dark gods. And I was like, okay, yes, yeah, this is what Dragon Age was. And so I can't for the life of me understand like why they weren't trying to appeal to the people that have been supporting this series for the longest time and trying to go after a whole different fan base that I don't think would even find this type of game appealing to begin with. It's very bizarre. It's like you should be going after the people that love RPGs that like more recently absolutely adored Baldur's Gate 3, which of course the studio famously made the first two games. So yeah, this is a lot better. You know, again, the proof will be in the final product, you know, in the moment-to-moment gameplay and obviously the story and the characters and things. Like, that's still suspect, but in terms of, like, I guess not technically a first impression. Should have been the first impression. But as a second impression, this is much better in my opinion. I really like what I'm seeing so far. But obviously I want to see more. I want to see more moment-to-moment gameplay. And, but yeah, I think I'm going to probably check this out, you know, certainly after October into November. Maybe this will be my big November game. But what about you guys? How do you feel about this trailer? Do you think this looks better than what they originally showed? Has it not moved your personal dial, or you're like, nope, not like what I'm seeing at all? Let me know. What about you, chat? How do you feel about this? I'm curious. Let's see. Bishop Sycamore says the game looks beautiful. It does. This looks very pretty. Very, very pretty. Uber actually couldn't have picked a more bland main character design for the trailer. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, what's you know what? Yeah, went with a very generic. Well, let's see the guy. You know what? It's funny you bring that up. Let's see if I can spot him. Yeah, here he is. Right there. There you go. Is he? I guess he's like white or very ethnically mysterious. I did notice. Did you? Because I think in the original reveal, they had it where. Now that's the thing about Dragon Age is you can create your own character most of the time. I know 2, it was very limited. But in like the first Dragon Age and Dragon Age Inquisition, you can create your own, main character. They can be like different races. You can be a human, you can be an elf, you can be a dwarf. In later entries, you can be like in the third one, they introduce another race that's been around for a while, the Canary. You could be a Canary, like this horned species, which is pretty cool, kind of from this warrior society. But I remember in the original reveal, they showed it where your character was black. And this one, they're like, all right, we're going with a white guy. And I wonder if they almost are doing that because they got like pushback from people who are upset. They're like, it's woke. I wonder. Because they've gotten a lot of vitriol, I think, for showing like a black lead character in the original footage that they showed. It's like, they're not leading with that. Interesting. What do you guys think about that? I'm curious. Let's see here. Bad Boy the Griffin has puppy dog eyes. There's going to be so much fan. Oh, I'm sure. Definitely. Big Smith is action figure aesthetic with the weird heads. Hard for me to get past. Rest of it looks promising. I think that's fair. I think that's a fair assessment and critique. Definitely. Yeah, the designs, you can tell they still very much look like kind of like Overwatch-esque characters. For what I heard, you won't be able to control party members directly, only the main character, which is the first for the series, which I think is a huge mistake. I wouldn't do that. But this is more, I think they're going more as an action RPG, which again could potentially spurn a lot of old-time fans. But very good to bring up. Batboy, maybe someday we'll have a new Jade Empire. I think they should have capitalized on that. Like I think like a mixed martial arts RPG would have been awesome. Like give it a similar combat style to something like Batman Arkham. Oh, that would be fucking awesome. So good. Do that with Kung Fu, but also do that with like, all sorts of like East Asian, mixed martial arts forms and stuff. Like jujitsu, and then like samurai swords. Like, see, that would be great, but yeah. Gentlemen, I haven't seen the other trailers, but I need to see more gameplay. That's fair. Yeah, it does kind of look like Oscar Isaac. Yeah. If not, give it time. The glitches will come, definitely. Yeah, I'll play. It's Dragon Age after all. Yeah, this again, this much better impression. They should have led with this, I think to alleviate fans' concerns that they were moving away from like the darker themes of the series, which the series can get quite dark and weird. And I like that. Yeah, that's the thing. When they first revealed, it just felt so mainstream fantasy. It just didn't feel very inspired. But this, what I'm seeing, looks a lot better. Looks a lot better. Did Jade Empire sell well? I don't know. I always wondered why I never got another title. That's a very good question. I'd have to look into it. It's definitely kind of like the redheaded stepchild of the... well, I guess Anthem is. I guess Anthem technically is now. But it's kind of like the forgotten child of BioWare. Not a lot of people bring up. I think there's an opportunity that you can. I'm surprised they haven't done that recently. I think like doing a Kung Fu... That'd be just so... original. I mean, yes, you have like the Yakuza series that definitely like, different fight, but like a true mixed martial arts, like RPG, I think would be really awesome and give it the same combat style as a Batman Arkham game where that kind of snappy, where and then you have like, you're able to do like the special moves and the grapples and the finishers, take people down, be like, oh, that would just feel so good. But, They haven't done anything with it. They've just been kind of like the Dragon Age and Mass Effect studio for the longest time, with the exception of Anthem, which was a huge commercial and critical disaster for the company. And at the end of the day, like I said, this is their last chance. This is their last chance, I feel. And so whatever happens with this game, I think it'll decide the fate of the company. And with that Mass Effect title that they are working on and some, whatever process of development it's currently in, either they'll shut that down if this does not do well, they'll just give it to another studio, maybe. We'll see. Or EA will sell the licenses to some other, they'll rent them out. So we'll find out. But in any case, this was a much better trailer. I'm hoping for the best. Because I would love just BioWare to return to the form, because they just haven't been. They just haven't been the company that they once were all those years ago, and they need to be, because I used to love them. Chat. But good question. I got to look up how Jade Empire. So let me see. I guess I can look it up right now. How did Jade Empire fare? Jade Empire. Let's see here. It was an Xbox exclusive. It was met with positive reviews. Let's see here. His concept, design, writing, audio, release. Game released April 12, 2005, 2 days prior to its announced release date. Game was later released in Europe. Okay. Special edition, critical reviews, sales. Here we go. Positive JP at number 3. Number 7. As of July 2005, Jade Empire had reached 500,000 units. BioWare's Greg Zichik later lamented the decision to release the game for Xbox rather than as an Xbox 360 launch title. Speaking of 2013, the game sales are down right now because people are waiting for new consoles, and we released Jade Empire into that kind of window. You conclude that it would have been great to put off a bit and polish the game a bit more. So there you go. So yeah, it didn't sell as well as they needed to. So that's what it is. 500,000, awkward timing. Yeah, when you're in between like console generations, or just about to be a new console, people are gonna hold off. Yeah, there you go. So it just didn't. Despite positive reviews, it did not sell very well. That's too bad. It's disappointing. I think there's an opportunity to bring it back though, for a new generation, but we'll see. But great question. Black Myth Wukong is close to martial arts. So that looks pretty cool. I like what I've seen of that so far. Marketing is, you're right. It's been all over the place, but if they kind of keep this tone, I think it'll definitely help. They have to now. They can't go back and forth because the people are going to be confused by it tonally. Uberbash, for anyone you missed, if you have an Xbox Series X, you can play Jim. But yep, that's right. 4K, 60 frames per FPS, and then of course you backwards compatible, which is really nice.